Welcome back to the channel, everybody. In today's video, we're going to be going over ticker symbol TSNP. This is an over-the-counter stock or an OTC stock, meaning that only a limited amount of brokerages allow you to actually trade this stock. And this stock has had an insane run-up. It went from a few cents to now $1 and some change. And we're going to be going over some of the fundamentals of this stock. Then we're going to transition over to technicals. And that's exactly what we did in the last video, which you guys really seem to enjoy. You guys give it a lot of likes and you guys really subscribe. And that basically shows me that you guys are interested. And if you guys do the same with this video, meaning that you like and subscribe, I'll be sure to keep on posting videos and just comment down below what stocks that you want to see, and then I'll make sure to post some stocks about whatever questions you have or just stocks that you're interested in. So enough with that. We're going to head on over. I already read what this article had to say, but I'm just going to reiterate some points so in a short manner. So the first point that this author makes is that the global mobile payment space is big, right? And it's too early to crown a winner. What he's basically saying is that we're in the fintech industry, right? Because that's what TSNP is basically in. And he says that with so many competitors and with the space being big, it's too early to just give one company the winner takes all. Meaning that you can't say that one company is better than another company because this industry is it's new and it's an emerging industry. Therefore, that gives room for TSNP to actually grow because it is a big industry. And that's exactly what the author's saying. He says that the space is vast, or in other words, big. So TSNP does have room to grow alongside PayPal, Venmo, Square, etc. Point number two that the author makes is that the number of digital wallet users globally will increase from 2.3 billion in 2019 to 4 billion in 2024. That's amazing. And global non-cash transactions will grow to nearly 1.1 trillion in 2023 from 208.5 billion in 2019. And this is according to the World Payments Report 2020. And then this is just the graph that basically reiterates everything that the author was saying and the statistics listed right here. Point number three is that the author states that TSMP offers far more value-added services, and what he's basically saying, I'm assuming, is he's comparing TSMP's value-added services to Google Pay, Apple Pay, and Samsung Pay because that's what he has listed in the title. And just remember, guys, these are the author's opinions, and that's just something that is nice to just keep in the back of your mind. Point number three that the author makes is that TSMP's price action does not correlate with social media activity. Basically, what he's saying is that TSMP is not affected by Reddit. It's not affected by pumps and dumps. And for those of you that are long, that's going to be really good for you guys because you guys don't want this stock to be manipulated in any way because it's just going to spike up, spike down, and then you guys are going to be stuck, and we don't want that, right? If you want to be a long holder of this stock, you guys actually want to do it based on what the company actually has to offer. You don't want it to really get manipulated. And we're going to go over this a little bit more. I'm actually looking to open a position soon in this stock if the opportunity is present, and I'll explain more about that in the technical side. The fourth point that the author mentions has to do with cryptocurrency. So TSNP, I'm guessing, was affected by cryptocurrency because it says in 2018 they were denied, but now we're in 2021, which means that cryptocurrency is more mainstream and other countries have already approved cryptocurrency ETF, which is good for TSMP if they're actually looking to get into cryptocurrency because now, they'll be accepted, whereas in 2018, I don't think they were. And with that being said, we're now going to transition to the technical analysis and charts. Now that we're over here in the charts, I'm going to draw basic support and resistances that I did in the last video, just like how I did, and I'm looking to get into TSNP, guys, this upcoming week. I just need the opportunity to be present, and I'm going to draw lines based on where I would like to get in. However, if Monday we see a huge gap up, I probably won't get in because it's not in the entry that I would want, and I'm going to just draw right now some of the entries and some of the price targets that I have for TSNP that I think could be reachable. So let's begin. So supports will be drawn in, let's see, pink. Yeah, let's do pink. Okay. So support, right off the bat, I see one support at the 85-cent mark. So let's just draw that. 85 cents. Perfect. And then we are in the 1 year, 1 day. And then second support that I see would definitely be 125. And we actually broke 125. $1.25. And then for this support, yes, we did break it, but we could see this now act as resistance. So these two supports are very interesting because yes, we did break this support and then we did also break this support, which is kind of disappointing. However, what I'm really liking now is the fact that we have this nice candle, this green candle right here that shows strength, and it didn't end up breaking the 85-cent support again. Now, this is only one candle, so we'll have to see what happens next week, whether we end up on the support, above the support, or if we break the support like how we did over here. So if we end up breaking, of course, the next level of support would be at the 70 cents area. Okay, perfect. And then now let's draw some resistances, and then I'll go ahead and tell you where I would personally like to enter. So right off the bat, I definitely see some resistance at the 138, the 137 or 138 area. If we break there, we're going to be heading back to all-time highs as soon as we also break this resistance right here. 159 or 160, doesn't really matter. Perfect, okay. And then let's do I think I'm just gonna draw that for the on the 1 year 1 day, but now I want to look a little bit closer into actually like how we're doing on a daily, right? Because I feel like that'll really help us. Actually, let's do 1 week. I want to see the 1 week. That's not really a good indicator either. Let's do 1 day, 1 minute. And look at that. So the supports that I drew, it does align with the daily, so that's really nice. Look at that. Look at that support. It just keeps on bouncing up, and then it goes back down, and then it goes back up, and then goes back down. So that's perfect. And then we ended up breaking, guys. And then guess where it touched? That support that I just mentioned. And then guess what happened? When we broke this support, guess where we touched? The support that I also drew. So these are very good indicators that we have. I'm actually really happy with the way that we ended up drawing that technical analysis. Okay, perfect. And then good. The resistances are pretty good too. Uh, let's see. I'm just trying to see. So here's where we are now. So we went up, then down, then up. So what we could do is we could end up filling this gap right here and go back all the way to the 85-cent mark, which if that happens, I'm picking up some shares. However, I wouldn't be mad picking up some shares Monday morning and it's at like $1.04 or 5 cents. I'll be totally fine with that, right? As long as it doesn't spike up to $1.25, because that means that the gap would already be filled in this next area, and I would be kind of chasing it at that point, So regardless of whether it ends up gap filling down back to the 85 cents or it's just at $1.05 or 4 cents, I'm fine with picking up shares either way. So depending on what happens Monday morning, we will either fill one of two gaps, the bottom gap, or we will end up hitting this line, and then we could end up just keep on consolidating right here and then break, and then we'll fill this new gap, or like I said, we won't touch this gap, this line, and then we'll just touch inside the bottom line. However, if we do touch this bottom pink line, I don't think we'll end up breaking even more. I think what's going to end up happening is we're just going to keep on consolidating, then hit back up to this level, then climb higher, higher, higher until we break, and then we'll consolidate in this new gap. And then as soon as we're finished with the 1.4 mark, look at this, guys. As soon as we break 1.4, guess what happens? We go all the way to 1.6. And then after we break 1.6, there's no telling where this stock is going to go because it went all the way to almost $2. Now, I'm not saying this is going to happen this week by no means, although it is possible. As long as there's news and volume, there's nothing, like anything is really possible. But this is just giving an idea of some of the gaps that we could fill. So we could either fill down or we could end up breaking and then go back in this new gap, which we were in a few days ago. So going back to the yearly though, I want to tell you guys again why I'm looking to purchase shares, and that has to do with the RSI. Now that we're back on the 1 year 1 day chart, look at the stochastic and RSI. As soon as we end up having that official cross, which we are so close to having, it'll indicate that the buyers are having back in control and the price movement will go up. Price action will ultimately go up. In other words, it just basically means the same thing, right? And so that's why I'm actually excited to be purchasing some shares. Yes, the support and resistances, they're nice and all, but the stochastic RSI really tells me that we will be heading upwards because every time we've been in this area, we end up, the crossover does end up happening and then the price just like fluctuates up and then that's where the price action ends up moving. So that's why I'm really excited. And with that being said, guys, I am going to end the video here. Again, we drew some support and resistances that are really important because it shows buying zones and then it shows breakout zones so where you guys could take some risk off, or where you guys could end up holding and then waiting for a bigger move if it does end up happening, and if we keep on breaking those resistances that I mentioned. And then also I'm really happy about the stochastic RSI because it looks like we are turning up. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed and stay tuned for my next video. Thanks again for watching.